In the soft glow of twilight, as the world hushed and the sky deepened to bruised purple, she would begin her ritual. 1, 2, 3. Each streetlight flickered on, a tiny star born in the urban galaxy. Her name was Alara, and she was a counter, not of sheep or blessings or the usual things people count. She counted lights to calm the storm in her mind. Tonight, the storm was a hurricane. It had been brewing all day, starting with a forgotten umbrella in the morning rain, escalating with a missed deadline at work, and finally cresting with a sharp, unkind comment from a stranger on the bus. Each small slight was a gust of wind, each disappointment a torrent of rain, until her inner world was a chaotic tempest of anxiety. So, she walked. Her apartment was on the 3rd floor, overlooking a long, winding street. From her balcony, she had a perfect view of the nightly procession of light. The first lamppost, right below her window, was old and ornate, casting a warm, honey-colored glow. That was number 1. She took a deep breath, letting the cool night air fill her lungs. Number 2 was further down, its light a stark, modern white. 3 and 4 were a pair, guarding the entrance to a small park, their beams crisscrossing on the pavement. 5, 6, 7, 8. She followed the line of lights as it snaked through the neighborhood. Each number spoken under her breath was an anchor, pulling her back from the churning sea of her thoughts. The counting was a meditation, a simple, repetitive task that demanded just enough focus to quiet the louder, more frantic voices in her head. The voice that said she wasn't good enough, that she'd failed, that she was a mess. With every light, that voice grew a little fainter. 10, 11, 12. She saw a couple walking hand in hand under the glow of the 13th light, their laughter a faint, happy sound carried on the breeze. For a moment, a pang of loneliness pricked at her, another wave threatening to pull her under. But she just focused on the light, on E.T.'s steady, unwavering presence. 14. The light didn't care if she was lonely. Eat, hust son. There was a simple comfort in that. She continued her count. Past 20, then 30. The street curved away, and the lights became small, distant diamonds. She knew this route. She knew that the 47th light flickered erratically. She knew the 62nd was partially obscured by the heavy branches of an old oak tree, creating a beautiful, dappled effect on the ground below. Each light had its own personality, its own story. The bright, brash ones on the main road, the soft, gentle ones in the quiet cul-de-sacs. The lonely sentinel at the very end of the street, number 103, which marked the edge of town before the darkness of the countryside took over. Her thoughts, once a roaring deluge, had now slowed to a gentle stream. The missed deadline was still there, but it was no longer a monster. It was a problem, and problems could be solved in the morning. The stranger's comment was just that, the words of a stranger, ephemeral and meaningless, already fading like a forgotten dream. As she counted, she began to notice other things. The scent of night-blooming jasmine from a neighbor's garden, the rhythmic chirp of a lone cricket, the silhouette of a cat, sleek and silent, slinking across a rooftop. The world outside her head was full of small, quiet beauties she often missed when the storm was raging. By the time she reached 95, the knot of tension in her stomach had loosened. The world felt manageable again. She wasn't just counting lights. She was mapping her way back to herself. Each number was a breadcrumb leading her out of the dark woods of her anxiety and back to a place of peace. 100, 101, 102. Finally, there it was. Number 103, shining faithfully at the edge of the visible world. She took one last, deep breath, holding it for a moment before letting it out in a long, slow sigh. The storm had passed. The waters were calm. Alara smiled, a small, genuine smile. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring. There might be another storm, but she knew that when it came, the lights would be there, waiting to be counted, waiting to guide her home. It's a simple story, but it's one that so many of us can relate to. Finding that one small thing, that personal ritual, that helps us quiet the noise. For Ilara, it was counting streetlights. For you, it might be listening to a certain song, needing bread, going for a run, or sketching in a notebook. We all have storms. Life is full of them. Big ones that feel like they'll tear us apart, and small ones that just leave us feeling drained and weary. And in those moments, it's so easy to feel lost, to feel like you're the only one drowning. But you're not. Finding your own streetlights is about discovering healthy coping mechanisms. It is about recognizing when the storm is brewing and knowing what anchors you can throw out to keep from being swept away. It's not about ignoring the problem or pretending the bad feelings aren't there. It's about giving your mind a safe harbor, a quiet space to rest and regroup so you can face the challenges with renewed strength. Sometimes, though, the storms are too big for us to handle on our own. Our anchors don't hold, and our streetlights aren't enough to pierce the darkness. And that is absolutely okay. That's when it's time to reach out, to find a lighthouse in the form of a friend, a family member, or a mental health professional. There is incredible strength in asking for help, in letting someone else hold the light for you when you can't. If you ever feel like your storm's overwhelming, please know that resources are available. You can talk to a professional who can give you the tools to navigate these rough waters. We'll leave some links and numbers in the description below. Reaching out is the bravest thing you can do. So, what are your streetlights? What small rituals bring you comfort and calm? Share them in the comments below. Your anchor might be exactly what someone else needs to discover. By sharing our stories and our strategies, we can build a whole network of lighthouses for each other. We can help each other remember that even on the darkest nights, there is always a light to be found. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content that explores the quiet corners of our minds. Take care of yourself, and don't forget to look for the light.